So now we can go and import maybe our house. By the way, if you need to get rid of this orange box, Control-Alt-B, that'll get rid of this selection. So if we're importing a house, we'll go File, Import, WMO, World Model Object, World, WMO, go through these folders till you find all this crap here. This is all the M2s that are going to be in your house. Find your house, which is small house. It begins with the number, which would be the expansion. We're on the 7th expansion, but it's counting the first one. So 2 would have been Burning Crusades on it. If you had imported a wavefront object right here instead of a WMO, the house will be empty. Import world model object. This could take a while if you have a whole lot of objects. So here's your house. Maybe. Yeah. So it'll put the exterior, which you don't really need if you're inside the house. So you can delete that. Or move it to another layer or hide it. Whatever makes you happy. If you press N and go over here, you can turn on backface culling so you can see through the walls and such. And you see that it put all the stuff on top of each other. Just everything. Barbershop stuff. Every table from every version of this house. Whatever. If you want to delete things, you just click them, delete one by one, keep some stuff. If you want to keep it, just hide it, unhide it when you're done, blah, blah, blah. I'm not keeping anything because I'm not going through all that stuff. So I'll just select the house. Hold shift to make more than one selection, by the way. This is the actual house. The other stuff is just the decorations, the M2s. Control I and then delete, which can also take a while if there's a lot of stuff. Now you just have your house, and you can put materials on it and move your person in. It's about the same as putting materials on your characters, but sometimes you'll run into a problem where one of the materials will show up black. And I'm going to show you how to fix that here. When you put your diffuse down and move it over here and it's black, just select the image node and uncheck use alpha and it'll work fine. I'll put a link to the person that told me that so you can check them out. I won't go over texturing houses. Just remember this walls down thing isn't going to show up when you render. It'll show up as there's walls. So when you go to place your camera inside, sometimes, where's the camera? Oh, it's on the first layer, I guess. Oh, did I put another camera? Okay. I didn't mean to, but whatever. When you're going to move it, sometimes the walls will get in the way. You can just fix that by going into edit mode. Remove doubles. Just always remove doubles, because there's never really any point. There'll only be a couple times when you shouldn't, and I'll explain those. But for right now, if you switch this to faces, you can select the face that's in the way of the camera and just delete face. And you should be fine. Not too much light will come in through there, so it won't mess up your scene. If it does, just put a cube out here to keep the light out or something. It'll be fine. We'll come back to this, so let's save it. The third thing you want to I want to show you how to import. Actually, we're going to do this on a new file. We'll come back to that. But this is kind of a special case. The map tiles. So import ADT and find your map tile. World Maps Azeroth. This didn't import my M2s. I don't know why. Hold on. Okay, this is the re-recording of the map tile importing because I had my mic muted the first 2 times. So we're going to try this again. So File, Imports, ADT, World, Maps, Azeroth in my case. And if it is Azeroth, it'll usually begin with Azeroth. So click that. And you'll see these black lines. When I open this window over here with N, go to clipping, set it something real high. 10,000 maybe, who knows. It might lag a little bit. When it's done, it'll show up over there. You need to get closer to it, so just click one of the objects and press period on the number pad. It'll zoom you over there. This is the entire map of things you want. Sometimes it'll have a lot of stuff, but if you're only rendering a small area, you don't need everything. So if you press B, you can click to drag and select some stuff that you want to export. And then Control I to invert, move that to a different layer. And if you go around that layer and hide, this is just the way I do it. I don't even know if you need to do that. Go over there and hide that. Come back here, select everything. File, export, wavefront object. Put it in the same folder, but name it something different. Mine's going to be map tile. But it needs to be over here with all the textures and things like that. I don't know about if it needs to be with other objects, but it needs to be with the textures. So export object. Now I'm going to just make a new file. You could probably just delete it, but sometimes that takes forever and I'm not sure why. So file, import world, maps, Azeroth, and the one we just made. Set the clipping up so you can actually see it. So it's over there, period on the number pad, select everything, Control Shift Alt C, origin to geometry. I did that again with the keys on so you can see. And then I usually just move it back over here, this is where your grid is, if this dot's in the right spot. If it's not, press Shift C and it'll put it in the middle of the grid, and then you can just zoom out from number pad 7, the top view, and then press G. You don't have to hold it down, just press it, and then just move it over there. Get back to it with period, select it all. I try to put the grid right where I'm going to be, so when I import objects, they go right where I want them. and just press G, move it around. You can scale this down too with S.5 to get it about the same size that you want it, so it won't be too huge. And then just move it around until you get it where you want it. I don't know where I want it, so, but anyway, and there you go. If you, one of the other materials you need to know is for trees and grass and such, that is going to have an alpha, which I showed you for the eye glow, but for this it would be diffuse instead of emission, so transparent. And then instead of being black, it'll be white around there, and then it'll be transparent. Since these are objects, you're also going to need to turn off auto smoothing, but you'll also need to remove doubles so there's not weird lines. So, but the materials and everything are basically the same as putting them on your character.